Katowice, Poland. My name is Falcone, and this is the Brawl Stars Championship. 8 teams have fought their way through the January online qualifiers and find themselves here, where they are competing for a first place prize of $20,000. Also, any team that does well here will earn themselves points. These points could eventually lead to them competing in the Brawl Stars World Finals, where they could win this spectacular trophy and their share of over $1 million in prize money. But first, who will win this weekend? We'll find out over the next couple days. But to bring you your first match is our legendary casters, Trid and Woody.
Thank you very much, Falcone, and I think your praise may be a little bit too high for myself, but certainly not for my co-caster. To the left of me, it's Mr. Woody joining me on the desk.
Howdy y'all, and welcome to the very first monthly finals of the Brawl Stars Championship. We have got some amazing teams here today, and some of the best Brawl in action in the entire world.
And we may have changed up the format a little bit just for this monthly final, just a teeny bit. We're going to have 2 groups going in a single round-robin competition to qualify for tomorrow's semi-finals and finals. So it's only today that seems a little bit different.
That's right, Trid. In Group A, our first round robin will be Clash, Red Kalunga, and Code Magic.
And of course, in Group B, it's SK Gaming, PSG Esports, and Omen Elite. Only the top 2 teams will progress to tomorrow's semi-finals.
We're going to rank them based on number of matches won, then sets won, and then if it comes down to the tiebreaker, games won. So every single game matters. These teams are going to be fighting all out for victory. The first matchup that we have today is Clash versus Red Kalunga.
Yeah, these teams are going to be obviously representing the Europe, Middle East, and Asia, Middle East and Africa, a region from Team Clash, and Red Kalunga coming in from the Latin American South.
Clash showing their moves in the pre-roll here. This team has had a lot of fun together. They've been competing for about 6 months as the same squad, so you know that they've got a lot of team synergy and are really going to be bringing their A game here today. Red Kalunga, on the other hand, has been together not quite as long, just about 3 months, but they have really clicked, and we're expecting great things for them today, Trid.
Absolutely, and also you've got to bear in mind, Woody, that there's been a bit of downtime since they qualified back towards the end of January as well, so their qualification may not necessarily be indicative of their strength right now. They could have gained strength, they could have lost it as well. Just something to bear in mind over the course of this final.
That's true, and there's also the occasional balance change that can kind of shake up the meta a little bit. So these 2 teams are going to have to finally find, after waiting for weeks, which one of them is better and which one of them is going to be advancing to the semifinals tomorrow. Now, I've got a little bit of insider information to share with you here, Trid. We spoke with the teams before this match began, and we learned that Red Kalunga, all 3 of the members of this team, find Clash to be the most difficult team that they would expect to go up against. Clash is their nemesis, so this is really going to test their skills in the very first battle.
Acknowledging your opponent is probably the first step to overcoming them. That goes different against a lot of teams. Just give you a little spoiler about what's coming on later in the day. A lot of teams are actually saying SK Gaming is their feared team or the favorite, so maybe it's a combination of Clash and SK. That could be a preview of our final tomorrow, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's have a look at the bans for this first game. Mr. P ban coming in for Clash, and Red Kalunga taking away the Max.
Yeah, 2 brawlers that will not be available to either of these teams. We also asked these teams which their favorite brawlers are before the round began. We actually heard that Guille loves Max, so unfortunately, sorry to say it, but Max will not be available in this match. We're going to have a best of 5 sets, and each set will be a best of 3 games. The first setup today is Layer Cake. It's a bounty map.
First map, obviously, if you're unfamiliar with Brawl Stars, you're tuning in for the first time, it's all about the stars above your head. You get a kill, you gain another value, or increase your bounty, so to speak. If the other team eliminates you, they get points based on the amount of stars you have. And to spice things off, to kick off and catalyst this event, you got 1 star in the middle to fight for to give you that early lead.
So just to keep it simple, remember the stars are counted in the top left and top right corner. Whichever team has is the winner.
And already you can see the ticks trading out, so Chaos and Percival both taking control of those particular brawlers. You've got the Pipers present as well, and they're just going to be waiting, playing the time. No one's going to risk going for that first star, because if you get that star, that's only worth 1 point. If you lose your life, you're giving over 2, so it's not exactly the most advantageous of trades to take.
Certainly not. You see a ton of firepower going on into the center of the arena there. Those dueling ticks just dropping as many bombs as they can, trying to prevent the opposing team from gaining any ground, and they've done a great job of it so far. Guigle up on top for red. Kalunga doing his best to kind of poke through that left bush and now into the center, trying to prevent anyone from gaining any ground at all. Every single tile matters here, Trid.
He's playing it nice and slow. I'm certain once the first star is taken, the tempo of the rest of this game will be defined, because then we have a team with a lead to hold, a lead to control, and motivation for their opponent.
Here comes the
the
first
offensive.
Chaos throws out a super tick, and he doesn't get a kill, but that does give a little bit of space for Guille to grab that star in the center. A nice early lead for Clash. They gain the upper hand, but will start to pull back and play a bit more defensive now that they are in the lead. Oh, almost kills Piper. Not quite, though.
Gonna retreat around. Piper obviously has the range to play with here, so can play a little bit further back than some of her fellow brawlers, and will keep her relatively safe. If you get tagged a few times, you still have to back off because the aggression can come in, and Azkada gets tagged again, sitting at around about 1200 HP, having to hide behind. There's 25 seconds remaining, Woody. We might end with a 1-0 scoreline at this rate.
Oh, I don't expect that. These teams are going to go all in the last few seconds, doing their best to try to get a kill, but Keita has not been able to get that poke that he's looking for, going way far down. Now Trevor getting low, but finishes off Guigle. That is a big lead now for Clash, as it's up to Red Cannons to get the comeback in 5 seconds.
Chaos is head first, actually hunted down Parzival as well. They have a 7-star lead, Woody, with 2 seconds remaining. First game going over to Clash.
And that is the advantage in gaining a little early head start. You get that first star and you can play defense, Trid. It puts the onus on your opponents to start attacking you. And when you're walking into that much firepower, it's hard not to lose a few brawlers.
As you can see, that game got out of hand fast once that first star came into play, and Woody gave a very good explanation as to why. We're going to be jumping into our next game. It's obviously still going to be on Layer Cake, still a bounty map. The players, they have the option of making adaptations if they like to. We saw pretty much mirror compositions coming out from them anyway, so I don't expect many changes, but I'm welcome to be surprised.
Yep, and they do have the chance to switch out their brawlers and change up their star powers in between each match, but we do have a strict schedule that we expect them to keep to. They only have a little bit of time before we're hopping into game number 2. Clash looking to close it